Dad, if you're watching this, we have two things in common right here and now. You are interested in providing for and protecting your wife and your kids. This is what we're talking about today. I've got an entire new series that we are diving into how to protect our family, and we're going to talk about all the amazing things that you can do in order to pull that off. You know, Charlie Kirk, his death, to me, that was a wake-up call. It should be a wake-up call for you too. There is evil in this world, and we need to be able to protect ourselves. Our responsibility, that is first and foremost to protect our family. We protect them through financial means. We have a mortgage, we have a house, a roof over our heads, and we take that responsibly very seriously. The other one that not as many of us have done in the past, but I think you, if you're watching this now, you are wanting to do now, is to protect our family physically as well. I'm on a journey to level up, to help my family, to protect my family, and I want you to join me. So let's jump right into it. Hey, my name is Ryan Fields-Spack. Thank you for joining me today. This channel is all about you, Dad. We talk about anything and everything that could be beneficial to you moving forward. We talk about finances. We have a Dad Ledger podcast. We talk about faith. We talk about having a tribe. We talk about how to be a better dad. And this series is starting off our series on how to protect our family and be a better prepper so that when bad things come, we can take care of things, or at least prove upon our ability to support our family while we're waiting for help to arrive. As we're talking about a lot of these different things, the police are fantastic. I grew up as a firefighter from an early age, and I was a professional firefighter here in Colorado. The police are fantastic. We had such a great relationship. Police are busy though. They are always running. They're always having to do things. And if something happens around your house and you need to protect yourself, it's going to be a long time before they get here. So having the ability to do so is very important. You know, when I started looking at this, I thought, all right, I at least want to have a handgun near my bed so that I can be able to protect my family if something were to happen in the middle of the night. So I started off pretty simple, right? I got myself a Glock. This is my Glock 19. Very simple. I don't have any sights. I don't have anything specific on this. I just got this and I started training on it so that I would be able to have something to get started with. And this has been fantastic. Isn't that always the case, right? I started learning more about this. I dove down the rabbit hole and I wanted to get a little bit more protection and level up even harder. And why is that? You know, if you think about it, there's a lot of things that have happened even in very recent memory that can cause us to really need to protect ourselves, especially when bad things are happening and the police won't even make it to your door because they're so busy. Think about the summer of 2020. I remember the neighborhood that I lived in, there were roving bands of people that were intent on causing disruption in my neighborhood. And we were scared to death. We turned off our lights, we pretended we weren't home, and we just prayed that they wouldn't come and break our windows and cause any problems. I never want to have that feeling again. What happens if there's a power outage? A long-term power outage? What's going to start happening for the people that have not prepared to be able to facilitate their own needs without power? What about food? If the food sources dry up and people are in need of finding that food, they're going to find it and they're going to break into homes to do so. So that's something that's extremely important. And of course, you've got the different 2A laws that we want to be able to exercise and facilitate. Colorado is taking a lot of those away, and I want to be able to get my hands on some solutions well ahead of time before those rights have been taken from us. I'm diving deep. I've saved up. I'm getting deep into this process, and I want you to come along with me. It's Christmas for me here in the Fields household, and I went shopping, and I'm going to show you my entire haul, all of the things that I have gotten. We're going to walk through it all. I'm just going to kind of lay it out on the table. We'll talk about it, and we'll go through everything in detail, and then we're going to expand on that. We're going to put it together, and we're going to have a lot of different content that goes around this. If you're looking for a gun expert, if you're looking for somebody who knows all the terminology, you are in the wrong channel. Go to Garand Thumb, go to some of the other really good GunTube channels that are out there so that you can learn more specifically about that. What my thought here is to educate you on the process that I, as a dad who has not been exposed to this part of the world very significantly, my learning process, my activity, the things that I'm getting, the people that I'm talking to, the process that I had to go through in order to get this thing. All those are what I'm going to talk about. So you, Dad, if you're interested in this, you can kind of follow my footsteps. Think of me as your buddy who is 6 months ahead of you, and you can continue to follow this and take what you will and what you won't. So without further ado, let's take a look at what I got from my most recent shopping trip. So as I mentioned, they started off with this Glock 19. This thing is fantastic. Like I said, I really appreciate the simplicity. It's a Glock. We know that it's good quality. And I know that it has all of the different capabilities that I could need for a weapon of this type. I've got this nice little holster, which can also be appendix carried, and it keeps it safe. So this was the starting points. But you all came here to see the Honey Badger, didn't you? So let's go ahead and dive straight into that. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Honey Badger. As you can see, and if you've ever heard of Q before, the Honey Badger and the different lines of weapons that they have are absolutely fantastic. And they have a lot of fun in this industry when they're talking about all of the things that they build. So you can see that right here from the box. Absolutely fascinating how they've been able to play with this art, move this forward. As you can see on this side, historically significant, and then some more fun art here on this side. Innovate. Gotta have a longer sword, right? So let's open this bad boy up. Oh, that's a beauty. My goodness. This thing is a thing of beauty. So this is the Q LLC Honey Badger. This is a short barrel rifle. So we've got some information. More information on substance abuse, it looks like. Your ubiquitous lock that comes with everything. Ooh, and a sticker. The Q Honey Badger sticker. Very cool. Along with the Allen wrenches. So we will definitely need those. And it looks like a bit of literature. Talking specifically about the Honey Badger itself. Oh, good. All the information that you need to be able to manage this. So that will be very helpful. We will definitely dive into that. This is a 7-inch SBR, which stands for short barrel rifle. This is a 7-inch barrel. So it holds 300 Blackouts ammunition, which I'll show you here in just a little bit. And it will definitely pack a punch. So obviously you've got your safety selector here. It is ambidextrous for people like me who are lefties. This will absolutely help with your mag release. And then you've got all the stuff that you need moving forward. This has a collapsible stock right here. A little tight right now, but that will be nice to be able to extend that out. Q Honey Badger, this thing was not cheap. We're going to talk about price here as we get and dive a little bit deeper into it. If you're looking for a cheaper option, there's plenty out there. But if you've been saving like me and you want the best of the best, well, you can't really go wrong without Q. So this comes with what they call their cherry bomb. So you can see right here, this is their muzzle device that we can screw on to be able to get directly some more information for our suppressor, our silencer, our can. You can call it all of it, and you'll be able to learn a little bit more about that. So that's where our can is going to go on, and that's going to make this thing suppressed. You can actually fire this thing without having ear protection on, so I've heard. So when you're using this specifically inside of a home, if you need to protect yourself, and you have that can on there, that will keep you from losing your hearing after 1 or 2 shots. So you'll be able to hear what's going on and make decisions as you move forward. So definitely something to keep in mind as you're moving forward on that. So there's the Honey Badger. Let's move on to some of the other stuff in the haul. That brings me to the silencer. This is the Trash Panda. As you can see, very cool artwork, very cool setup. The Trash Panda by Q is their titanium suppressor. It's a little bit on the smaller end, but honestly, this was the one and the only one that they had in stock when I went to go and purchase this. So I went with this one. If I wanted to be a little bit quieter, I may upgrade to their Speakeasy, which is a little bit more quieter and larger as well. So the first view of the can. Thanks for supporting innovation. A very cool Trash Panda carrying case. Fun artwork and stickers, fine print. And then finally, here is the can. Pull it out. So the way a suppressor works is it's got baffles inside that absorb a lot of the pressure, the noise, and the explosive potential that's coming out of that. And then it obviously suppresses the noise as it comes out. So you still get the full brunt of the shot as it comes forward, but you get a lot quieter shot on there. So this thing is absolutely amazing. And since you're with me, looks like it does have another cherry bomb on the end. Let's screw this guy on and see how it looks. They have technology on these things where it's a bevel, so it takes 25% more force to unscrew it than it does to screw it on. So that will keep it from coming off as it moves forward. So that is pretty. Get that on there. I mean, yeah, it takes a little bit more force to get off. So as you can see, once that suppressor's on there, it makes it quite a bit longer. Again, still very compact, still have the ability to move in space. That gives you a lot more movement going forward. Next up, if you're going to be using this thing at night, you got to have a flashlight. So I got this Surefire dual fuel Scoutlight Pro. This guy has 1.5 hours of runtime, 1500 lumens, and it can really set up well on your rifle to be able to have lighting where you need it to go. And then it's got a lot of different pressure pads, which I'll talk about here in just a second. So let's pull this guy out. Thought as I was looking at this that the color would go nicely with the weapon. So let's see. First look for both you and I. How this will look. It's on there. Not too bad at all. The nice thing about this is since I do have the can on here, I'll be able to place this pretty far up. That way I can still have plenty of room for additional accessories on here and be able to place that in. So that will be nice to have. And we'll get that mounted in a different video. In order to get this thing turned on quickly, we use a Surefire tape switch that you can turn this on very fast and be able to activate it while you are actively using the Honey Badger itself. So there's our tape switch. I will plug into the back and you're able to activate it in a number of different ways here, which we will go through as well. Next up, gotta have optics, right? I went with an EOTech. This is a beautiful optic and it's got kind of this is a beautiful optic. It's got a donut kind of version of the red dot that's in there. So this should be really nice to move forward with. So as we open this guy up, nice EOTech sticker, register the product, quick reference, and here she is. So as you can see, this guy is pretty large, and I think it will go very well, in particular on this guy, and the color, we'll definitely see how that looks as well. So this will go on just like this, and that is going to be nice and pretty, and it's going to be extremely useful because I don't necessarily need a magnifier on this in particular, primarily because I'm not planning on shooting for any significant length. I want this to be much more of a close quarter utilizer. So that is what is that going to be. And then I want to raise this up a little bit higher, so I went ahead and got one of these optic risers for that exact purpose. So this Unity riser should do the trick for this. I'll raise it up by about, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch. So I'll be able to have a little bit, not as much of a head cock going down. So what else did I get? Well, you got to get some ammo, right? So I've got 3 different types of ammo that I'm going to be working with and trying out here. I'm going all subsonic. I want to make sure that I have as quiet of a round as possible. And I'm doing a lot of research. So 300 Blackouts. Well, with this Magtech, I got some of those. Also wanted to get some range ammo. So this is way cheaper at the store that I went to than it was at the store that I came from. So what's funny, and again, we're learning all this together, is when I purchased my original Q at the store that I purchased it from down in Denver, actually, I bought this for $44 a box. The store that I got it from up here in Fort Collins was $34 a box. So lesson learned. Same rounds. There's that round. You can see it's not as long as say a 5.56 round. 200 grain, but this still packs a significant punch. Finally, I've got that training ammunition, but I want to make sure that I have ammunition that is for those bump in the night type of experiences. So I got the Hornady Black. This, as you can see, has a much more significant tip on the bullet itself, so that it will break apart and cause more damage. So that's the Hornady Black. But that is going to be a round that I have in this when I'm just making sure that things are safe at the house. And I'll train with this. And you can't have ammunition without a magazine. So I went ahead with 2 separate types of magazines. I'm going to try them out, see which one I like the most. So these magazines, this one's the Magpul, and this one's a Lancer. I'm going to give them both a try. You can see this one's a little bit more see-through. But here's the deal. We live in Colorado. So in Colorado, there's a 15-round maximum in our magazines. So you can see they put this little rivet directly in here, which keeps the ammunition from going any farther down the nets. So you only get 15 rounds in Colorado. It's a bummer, but gotta follow the law. So that is for that, and those will go in there. Also picked up from the haul some extra ammunition for that Glock. Can't ever go wrong with extra 9mm. I got this sling mount kit. So this hooks directly on here on the weapon itself, and then hooks back here so that I can have a swing. And I put in a big order with my boy John Lovell, and he is sending me a lot of stuff from the Warrior Poet Society. So I got his sling, which I'll show you as soon as that gets in, as well as another tactical belt, which we'll get to play with as well. So definitely something to think about for that. And then finally, I'm going to be at a lot of different ranges. So I got myself some Ear Pro. Well, I won't need it for this guy, but I'm going to need it for everybody else that's around. So this will be extremely helpful to have. So that is my haul for now. I've got some other things coming. I've got a hand guard that I'm going to place right on here. That will help me to place my hand a little bit better. I've got some other goodies that are being sent over, which we will go through in due course and in due time. So what do you think? That Honey Badger is a thing of beauty. And when I get all of those accessories placed onto it, it's going to be amazing. I'm very excited to have that and to continue to build that out. So here's the deal. If you're interested, I'm going to put together an entire series on this entire process. And I want you to come along with me. I think this will be a lot of fun for both of us to learn together. And again, for you to follow me and maybe learn a few things about how to set up a home defense process on your own. We're going to talk about all the things that I went through, in particular, the purchase process. That was something that I was not prepared to really go through and have an understanding of. I got a ton of lessons that I learned in the last 3 weeks that I will pass along to you that will save you a ton of time in order to get something like that short barrel rifle, as well as that suppressor or silencer. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We'll go through that. We'll talk about all the forms that I had to fill out. We're going to talk about the kit and the other things like the battle belt that I'm going to get and how all of that is going to be set and ready for me to pull out at a moment's notice. We're going to put all of the pieces on this and make sure that we learn the lessons together, and we're going to go out and shoot it. We're going to talk about prepping. We're going to talk about having food around the house, all the extras, the things that we need to be able to protect our family. This is going to be the series for you. I'm honored to have you along with me for this ride. Put a comment below. What do you think would be better for me to have? What was way too much for me to get? I'd love to hear your comments as we move forward. And then a lot of other stuff on this channel too. I had a fantastic interview with John Deloney, the Dr. John Deloney. He's with Ramsey Solutions. He sat down with me for 30 minutes, gave me a ton of time. I was so honored. You need to hear this conversation. He talks all about how you and me, Dad, can really improve upon our ability to perform in the moment for our kids. I've got that video listed right there. Take a look at that. Come back, subscribe, hit that bell icon because this is going to be fun. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.